Chemical reactions are of many different types. In this video, we are going to learn about 5 major types of chemical reactions. Combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, double displacement reaction, and combustion reaction. Watch the video till end and I assure you that you will understand types of reactions like never before. Stay tuned. Let's start with combination reaction. So what's a combination reaction? As the name suggests, combination, combine. When two chemical species combine to produce a single compound, that is called a combination reaction. This is also called as synthesis reaction because in this reaction, a new compound or a new product is synthesized or manufactured. Right? So the general format looks like this. A plus B forms AB. So a quick analogy to this could be, let us suppose this is Ronnie and this is John, and Ronnie and John, they share a lot of things in common, and that's how they group together and they are like best buddies. So they like group together to do their project work, they do group studies, so they play together. So it's like they combine together to form one single group. Right? So that's combination reaction. Now, some of the examples of combination reactions are quicklime plus water, or if you talk about hydrogen plus oxygen combining to form water, or sodium plus chlorine to form sodium chloride, or magnesium oxide formation, or carbon dioxide formation, or sulfur trioxide formation. So all these reactions that you see on the screen, they are all examples of synthesis reaction. Why? Because a new product is being formed. For example, water is formed, and it is formed from two things like hydrogen and oxygen. Similarly, magnesium oxide is formed from magnesium and oxygen. So these are all combination chemical reactions. Let us now move ahead with decomposition reaction. Decompose, what does it mean? Decompose means to break down or to split. So when a single compound decomposes to form two or more chemical species, that is known as a decomposition chemical reaction. So it is exactly the opposite of combination reaction. So here AB splits or decomposes to form A plus B. So let's say they are the best buddies. So when two best buddies, they say let's say they fight and then they separate out, they split. So that's decomposition chemical reaction. Some examples of decomposition chemical reactions are as follows. So as I said, they go exactly opposite of the combination reaction. So you can see that when water splits to form hydrogen and oxygen, that's a decomposition reaction. When hydrogen peroxide splits to form water and oxygen, that's a decomposition reaction. When ammonia splits to form nitrogen and hydrogen, that's decomposition reaction again. So all of these are examples of decomposition reaction. Now, you may ask a question that if we leave water in a glass, so will it decompose into hydrogen and oxygen? Of course not. So this decomposition would happen only under some specific circumstances. For example, water will decompose into hydrogen and oxygen only on electrolysis. Similarly, if you talk about copper carbonate, that is CuCO3, it breaks down to form copper oxide and carbon dioxide only on thermal decomposition. That means only when heat is given, only then copper carbonate would decompose into copper oxide and carbon dioxide. So these decomposition will take place only under some special circumstances. Let's move ahead and talk about displacement reaction. Displacement. So with the name, all that we could guess is, in this reaction, an element would displace another element from a compound. So displace, that means kicking someone out and taking its position. So that's basically what we mean by displacement in a chemical reaction. So this is how the general format would look like. AB plus C gives AC plus B. So if you see here, this element C kicks out B from its position and takes its position and forms a new compound AC. Right? So you can take this example. Let us suppose these are dance partners So they practice dance together, and she is the instructor. So now the instructor wants to teach a particular step. So what she does, she takes the position of one of the dance partners. So you see, the instructor who was here has kicked out this girl and took her position, right, to maybe to demonstrate a particular step or to teach a particular step. But this is what we mean by displacement. So when an element kicks out another element from a compound and takes its position. So some examples of displacement reactions are as follows. So if you look at all of these reactions on the screen, they are all displacement reactions. So here, let's randomly pick one of these and see if displacement takes place in them or not. Let's talk about sulfuric acid and iron. So you see, H2SO4 plus iron gives ferrous sulfate, that is FeSO4 plus H2. So what's happening here? Iron is actually kicking out hydrogen from this compound and taking its position. So instead of hydrogen, you have iron now, and it forms iron sulfate. Right? Similarly, let's talk about this equation. Zinc plus HCl gives ZnCl2 plus H2. So here also we see that zinc is actually kicking out hydrogen from this compound and taking its position and forming ZnCl2. So we see displacement is taking place in each of these reactions, and that's why they are called displacement chemical reaction. Let's now talk about the fourth type of reaction, that is double displacement reaction. Now what happens in a double displacement? Now here it's like one element is kicking out another one from its position, and the other element is also kicking out the first one from its position. So in fact, two elements are exchanging their positions in their respective compounds. So that is called double displacement. So this is how the general format looks like. AB plus CD forms AD plus CB. So basically, if you see, D is kicking out B from its position and taking its position and forming AD. Similarly, B is kicking out D from its position and taking its position to form CB. So in a way, we can say that B and D have exchanged their positions. So that's double displacement. So you can consider this analogy. Let's say these are the dancing partners, like two dance partners, two set of partners. Now what happens when they exchange their partners? It's like, you see, the females are still the same, but the guys, they have been changed. So they have interchanged their positions. So that's double displacement. So some examples, even before we talk about some examples of double displacement, there are some certain types of reactions which have different names, but they also fall under the category of double displacement. For example, precipitation reaction and acid-base reactions. So what happens in precipitation reaction? So in a precipitation reaction, two solutions are mixed together to produce an insoluble solid, which is called the precipitate. So as you see, solution A combines with solution B to form insoluble solid C, which is called precipitate, and a solution D. So that's precipitation reaction. Acid-base reaction is also known as neutralization reaction. And under this reaction, an acid combines with a base to form salt plus water. Now, why it is called neutralization? Because when an acid combines with a base, the acidic property is lost, the basic property of the base is lost, and both of them join together to form salt, which is neutral. And that is why it is called neutralization reaction. So, even before we talk more about what is precipitation and what is acid-base reaction, I think it will be a good idea to take examples of both of them. So here on the screen, we are seeing few equations, and they are all examples of double displacement. Let's look at the first one. HCl plus NaOH forms NaCl plus H2O. So in this case, what happens? In this case, we see that hydrogen chloride, which is an acid, combines with NaOH, which is a base, to form NaCl, which is salt, which is common salt, and water. So this is acid-base reaction. And here we see that double displacement takes place. How? Because this Na and this hydrogen, they exchange their position. So Na goes here to form NaCl and H comes here to form H2O. So they exchange their position. So that's double displacement. Similarly, let's look at the second example. AgNO3 plus KCl gives AgCl plus KNO3. So in this case also we see that, so these are both in the solution form. So two solutions combining together to form this insoluble solid, that is precipitate. This is white in color, so we get a white precipitate as a result of this reaction. But here also we see that the potassium and the silver, they exchange their position. Potassium comes here to form KNO3, silver goes here to form AgCl, right? So this is double displacement again. So what we understand is precipitation reaction and acid-base reactions, they are also double displacement reactions. Let's now move ahead with the last type of reaction, that is combustion reaction. Combustion means burning something. It could be a material like wood, it could be a fuel like petrol or diesel. So basically, when a combustible material, a material that catches fire and burns easily, when a combustible material reacts with an oxidizer to form a product, that is what we call as combustion. So examples of combustible materials are wood, diesel. These are all examples of combustible material. Now let us try to understand combustible chemical reactions with more examples. So let's say a combustible material is basically a hydrocarbon that consists of hydrogen and carbon. So when a hydrocarbon combines with oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide plus water. And as a result of this process, a lot of heat energy is also released. So these are combustion reactions. So let us look at some examples. Methane plus oxygen, or octane plus oxygen, or propane plus oxygen, ethanol plus oxygen, butane plus oxygen. So all of these, they are all hydrocarbons, and when they are oxidized, that is when they combine with oxygen, they produce carbon dioxide and water, and this is called combustion. So we have learned about the 5 different types of chemical reactions, and it's question time. So here is a quick question. Please attempt and post your answer in the comment section below. So you have to identify the type of this reaction. Na2SO4 aqueous solution plus BaCl2 aqueous solution gives BaSO4 precipitate, which is solid, plus NaCl aqueous solution. So please type your answer in the comment section of the video. I'm pretty sure that you would have identified the chemical reaction by now. So what are you waiting for? Type your answer in the comment section and do let us know. And did you like the video? Share your feedback as well. So we will come up with the next video where we will talk about few other types of chemical reactions which are very useful in our day-to-day life. So stay tuned.